From Forex Traders Daily, this is your daily analysis with Ross Mullins, live from Richmond, Virginia.
Hello everyone, this is today's video analysis for February 25th, 2016. In a moment, we'll be taking a look at the USDCAD, the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar for today's analysis. But first, a recap of a couple of the trades made over the past few days. Before I do that, we also want to take a look at the news calendar at 8:30 a.m. Eastern U.S. time, about 40 minutes from the recording of this video. We have a couple of pieces of news out of the U.S., durable goods and unemployment claims. So those are a couple of pieces of data that could, of course, affect the currency market and the outcome of the analysis that I'm providing today. So definitely want to take note of those two pieces of news coming out 8:30 Eastern U.S. time, about 40 minutes from the recording of this video. Jumping in here into the AUDUSD, Australian versus the US dollar. This is a trade that's been going for a couple of days here for the Australian dollar. Took a sell all the way up here at the yellow shaded area. Yellow shaded area was the culmination of several different indicators. The previous triangle pattern we've been studying in the live daily trade room, historical resistance and whatnot. Took a sell up there into the 72.50 level, saw a decent amount of profit as it pushed down here underneath the orange zone, actually seeing about 100 pips of profit. The stop loss using the trade manager has been moved in to lock in 25 pips, so we can't lose on the trade. We've closed some of the profit, we've locked in some of the profit, can't lose on the trade. Stop loss is right about where this little red line is right now, so if the market does take a push back up to the yellow zone, it's going to take us out at the remaining position for the trade. Now, if the U.S. news comes out very positive for the U.S., we could see this take another turn back lower, getting finally underneath the orange zone with an open and close, sends it back down to the blue zone, and we see further profit as it continues to pressure lower. So we'll see how that news affects the market. But another push lower, we look for it to break the orange zone. If it stays above, we might even see it back towards the yellow shaded area today. Something else we were looking at here in the live daily trade room over the past few days is this blue box on the New Zealand dollar. We can see the NZDUSD kind of stuck inside this little area of congestion inside this blue box. Important to note, of course, long-term trend is down here for this currency pair. Take it down to the 4-hour time frame, zoom it out just a little bit so you can see that entire blue box. We saw an attempt to break out of it a few weeks ago. Now we're back inside of that blue box and above the orange shaded area. We're watching that orange shaded area today. If it opens and closes above it, we look for the market to continue higher. If it gets back underneath it, again, positive US data may see this turn back underneath the orange zone and target back down towards the yellow shaded area. Negative news, of course, would have the opposite reaction. We look for it to stay above the orange zone and turn back towards the pink zone. I've gone ahead and taken a small sell here into the orange shaded area. We've seen much resistance into this level. Happened to be the 618 fib of this previous leg of the downtrend. So went ahead and took a sell right at the top of the orange shaded area. My stop loss is up here right around where that little short green line is. Looking for it to continue to pressure lower for the New Zealand dollar today. A couple of other things that we've looked at, of course, the USDCHF's now challenging underneath this little black trend line and our resistance level, the green shaded area. If you're looking for an opportunity to go short here on the franc, the green zone between 98.15, 99.50. 99.50 and 99.50 is the spot to watch for resistance. You really don't want it to break above there if you're going to go short. For those of you thinking about going long on this pair, it's likely that you thought about it down here at the blue zone, but the next opportunity would be a break above the green shaded area here for the US franc. All right, moving on over to the US CAD. Long term, let's take a look at the long term here. The daily time frame, the blue trend line coming up from the bottom, capturing from the low back here in early 2015, connecting with the low here late 2015. Most interesting enough is where that comes into contact with the current market. It's the long-term trend line connecting exactly with these lows, testing the current market, testing that blue trend line. Also, kind of hard to see. I know there's a lot of lines on the chart, but there's a 100 period moving average. Probably most importantly is that that's paralleling right along that blue trend line. So 100 period simple moving average. Let's zoom in a couple of times here on the daily time frame, see if we can see some of this a little bit better. So there's the blue trend line. We know where it comes from. There's your 100 period simple moving average coming in at that same area right around the 1.3600 level. So 1.3600 will appear to be our support for the day today. We're definitely watching that, of course, with our U.S. news. We'll watch how that is affected. We've also been watching oil and the prices on oil. If they continue to fall, we might look for some reversal here for this to turn it back higher. If oil prices continue to rise, then we might look for this to break down through the support. So critical support for the day today here, right around the 13600 level. Staying above it, potential reversal to go back up for a period of time. Breaking underneath it, we'll likely look for it to head on back down, likely pushing back down into the 3400 level. Also, take that yellow shaded area, follow it back in time. You see this historical area of congestion here. It doesn't look very impressive here on the daily time frame, but we'll look at that on the 4-hour here in a moment. One last thing here on the daily, Fibonacci from the last little low where it touches the trend line the last time, which was in the middle of that long-term look. So Fibonacci right here from the middle of the blue trend line to the current resistance high. That's what I'm looking at here. Taking that, we find the 618 fib at 3540. That's the bottom of our yellow shaded area. So very interesting there as well. 618 fib of that trend range, 100 period moving average, long-term daily trend line, and that even price level, 1.3600, also providing us a psychological barrier here for the USCAD. So if anything, I should be convincing you that you don't want to sell it right now and go short into this big barrier that's sitting here for the USCAD. 4-hour time frame, let's go down here, zoom it out. We talked about the pattern of the trend, the black box, breakout, black box, breakout, black box. We've broken out, now challenging the next area of support. Yesterday in the trade room, I told everybody that if it ever made it back to the orange zone, you might look to sell it. Well, it never made it back up there, so I removed that pending order that was sitting up there at the orange shaded area from yesterday's live trade room. If you're looking to go short and sell this again, I think you probably want to wait for it to go up anyways. You want to wait for it to go back up here to the pink shaded area before you would consider going short, because we know that you want to sell it at a higher price if you're going to do that. Of course, we know that right now we're settling down here into support and doesn't really become an enticing area to go short right now for the USCAD. Let's go ahead and zoom back in time a little bit because I wanted to show you where that little area of congestion is along that yellow shaded area. And there it is right there. Let's go zoom in a little bit. I said it didn't look very impressive on the daily time frame, but look at it right here. Look at the congestion that we're seeing right around that yellow shaded area where the red circle is in the middle of the chart. That congestion right between 35.45 and 35.95. That's where we're testing right now. We're sitting on top of this little area of congestion right there in the middle of the chart. That's the yellow shaded area. Back to our current time frame. Again, there's that same yellow shaded area, 35.45, 35.95. So again, going short right now just doesn't make a lot of sense here for the USCAD. If we get some positive US data, then we of course look for support and reversal for this to go back up. Negative data, maybe look for it to dip back into that yellow shaded area again, watching again oil prices to see how that affects the USCAD currency pair. But I think looking for support and potential clues to reversal here into the yellow shaded area will be something that we can watch for over the next few days here for the USCAD.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.